about it. But now that he's come home, my whole team, they own me. Like, they own me. They sending me all these documents and all this stuff. So I went in there today.
Pooh Shiesty just walked out of federal prison, nearly a year early. Hours later, the clips hit, money up, bottles open, and now that he's out, word is he started snitching. Names dropped, deals cut, gates opened. In today's video, we'll track the exact release timeline, check the paperwork, and lay out who was there and what was said. Early freedom. The news broke like a glitch in the Matrix. Pooh Shiesty, the same rapper who the Fed said was facing decades for a shooting gone wrong, had been released. Early, too early. Social media didn't believe it at first. Fake news, fans said, until his lawyer, Bradford Cohen, posted a video confirming it. Shiesty was really out. The Memphis Menace had survived the feds, or so it seemed.
I got that name because I'm fine.
And it involves a recording artist, Pooh Shiesty, except unlike this clip, what happened here was no music video. The footage shows a McLaren sports car, Mercedes Maybach, and another Mercedes pull into this East Bay Harbor Drive condo parking lot. Men from the vehicles eventually get out and meet, and then this. The man in the white shirt has a pistol. The man in the black sweatshirt has a longer gun, and at about the same time, they begin firing before retreating back to the Maybach.
Shiesty had been sentenced to 63 months for federal conspiracy involving firearms, the kind of charge that doesn't just disappear. There's no parole in the federal system, no get out early if you behave. And yet somehow, Shiesty had carved off over a year of his sentence. He was supposed to come home in 2026, but October 2025, he was already in the streets, chain heavy, bankroll fatter, energy reckless. The lawyer said it was the First Step Act, a law that rewards inmates for good behavior and rehab programs. But even that explanation felt too neat, because when the feds give you time off, it's usually a few months, not over a year. In street math, that's called a discount for cooperation, and Memphis knew it. Within hours, Whack 100 went on a podcast, basically lighting a match under Shiesty's comeback. He claimed there was no way someone like Pooh, someone with violent charges and firearm conspiracies, could get that kind of reduction unless he helped the feds. The internet ran wild. Shiesty 6699, Federal Pooh, memes flooded in. But Shiesty didn't care, at least not publicly. Instead of addressing the whispers, he did what he always does, flexed. Gold chains, designer fits, and enough confidence to make you forget he was technically still in federal custody. Because here's the kicker. Pooh wasn't even fully free yet. He was in a halfway house, government-owned, heavily supervised, and wired tighter than a Ring camera. He could go out during the day, but at night, he had to report back.
Oh shit, that's buddy who got shot in the ass. I remember. I don't know if Dicey shot him. I ain't the police. That's their job.
Still, Shiesty was moving like his sentence was just a pause button. Within 24 hours, he hit the jeweler, dropped $100K on new ice, and linked up with Big 30, who handed him a thick stack of cash for making it out. It was like the streets were celebrating a resurrection, except nobody knew what kind of ghost they'd just brought back. First day. If prison was supposed to humble Pooh Shiesty, the first 24 hours of his freedom proved the opposite. He didn't come home to silence, reflection, or a press release. He came home like a man on a mission. Mission chaos.
You're back because you need it.
First stop, the jeweler. Because of course. Within hours of stepping outside the halfway house, Pooh was spotted at Icebox, flexing a brand new chain that cost more than most people's rent for a year. The internet went into a frenzy. Fans screamed, "He's back," while critics muttered, "He didn't learn a damn thing." Both sides were right. Big 30, his longtime partner in grime, popped up with a celebratory bankroll so fat it could have doubled as a pillow. The moment was pure Memphis energy, raw, brash, and soaked in nostalgia. But underneath the celebration, there was tension. Big 30 had been feuding with Moneybagg Yo while Shiesty was locked up, and that drama hadn't cooled off. Moneybagg was allegedly sending subliminals on tracks, name-dropping Shiesty just enough to keep his name hot in the beef. And Pooh, he was quiet about it. Too quiet. That kind of silence in the rap world is loud, because it usually means something's brewing. But drama wasn't the only thing waiting for him outside. Shiesty hopped straight on social media, not to drop a song, not to thank fans, but to shoot his shot at Cardi B. Yeah, Fresh out of federal prison, halfway house bracelet probably still warm, and he's in Cardi's comments saying, "I love you." Bold, but also weird. See, this wasn't the first time he'd done it. Back in 2024, while still locked up, he'd commented on her live stream saying, "I'm 5 minutes away, baby. Open the door." That was right after her messy breakup with Offset. But now, Cardi's moved on with NFL star Stefon Diggs, reportedly expecting a kid. So, Pooh shooting his shot again just made people say, "Is this man okay?" Then came the car videos. Shiesty posted himself cruising through Dallas, blasting music, laughing, holding a drink, all while supposedly still under halfway house restrictions. The man just couldn't stop flexing. But what looked like harmless celebration might have been his next mistake. Because in the feds' eyes, a halfway house isn't freedom. It's still prison with Wi-Fi. And when you're under supervision, one wrong post can be a one-way ticket back behind bars. But Pooh wasn't thinking about that. He was too busy proving to the world that he was still that guy. Unfortunately, that attitude might have been exactly what the feds were waiting for. Before we go any further, consider subscribing to this channel because what's coming next might change everything. Halfway chaos. Let's get one thing straight. A federal halfway house isn't a place you stay. It's a place you survive. Imagine being half free, half prisoner. Your body outside, but your paperwork still owned by the feds. That's Pooh Shiesty right now. He's in Dallas, hundreds of miles from Memphis, in a facility that's basically prison-like. Curfews, drug tests, mandatory job checks, and zero tolerance for mistakes. And yet, he's online posting like a free man. Videos of him driving, fast, clips of him holding a bottle while steering, selfies with cash piles that definitely don't come from a halfway house paycheck. Every frame of those videos is a federal violation waiting to happen. Because here's how halfway houses work. You're still technically in custody. That means no alcohol, no reckless behavior, no unapproved travel, and definitely no illegal content on social media. But Pooh Shiesty, he's acting like the rules don't exist. One video showed him swerving through traffic with a speedometer pushing 90. Another clip had him toasting with a drink in hand captioned, "Free at last." The irony is painful because he's not free. And let's talk logistics. When you're locked up for 4 years, your driver's license expires. You can't renew it behind bars. So if Shiesty's behind the wheel, that's another violation. Driving without a license. Add that to drinking and driving, reckless endangerment, and halfway house curfew violations, and you've got enough to send him back for the rest of his term. But here's the twist. Nobody's done anything yet. No raid, no violation hearing, no sudden rearrest. The internet's watching like it's a countdown timer. How long until the feds pull up? There are theories. Some say his halfway house is understaffed, too busy to track every resident. Others think the feds are letting him build his own case, collecting evidence until the violations pile high enough. A few optimists think maybe, just maybe, the posts are old footage. But in this age of real-time chaos, the odds of Pooh sitting on pre-recorded turn-up clips are slim. What makes this even crazier is that Pooh knows how this works. He's not a rookie to federal life. He's seen other rappers, Kodak, Bobby Shmurda, even NBA YoungBoy, come home and play the long game. But Shiesty, he's playing with fire like he's trying to prove something.
Cut it out. You don't like dreads. I'm gonna cut it off. Thank you, baby.
And maybe he is, because in the world of Memphis rap, image is everything. And the one thing Pooh can't afford right now is to look scared. Reckless moves. By week 2, Pooh Shiesty had already turned his comeback into a federal horror film. The posts were non-stop. Him flexing cash, gunning down highways, posting cryptic captions like, "Ain't no leash on the biggest." The man just came home from federal time and was moving like the system was on mute. Fans were excited, sure, but even his day one started side-eyeing the behavior. He acting like he didn't just almost get life, one fan wrote on X. But that's the thing about Pooh. He's never been just a rapper. He's a product of the streets, molded by chaos, baptized in bad decisions. He doesn't just flirt with danger, he marries it. Every move he makes screams one thing: I'm untouchable. And that's exactly what scares everyone who actually cares about him. See, when you're on federal supervised release, you're under surveillance even if you can't see it. They monitor your social media, your phone, your movements. A single clip of you violating conditions can trigger a rearrest. But Pooh's timeline was practically a confession tape. Drinking and driving? Check. Flashing what looks like unreported income? Check. Possibly violating halfway house curfew? Triple check. It was like watching someone play Russian roulette with Wi-Fi, and his peers noticed. Moneybag Yo, who had already thrown subliminals at Pooh's camp, posted something cryptic: "Some people just don't learn till the cuffs click again." Fans immediately connected the dots. Was Moneybag taking shots at Shiesty? Probably, because their Memphis ecosystem has always been more battlefield than brotherhood. Meanwhile, Gucci Mane, the man who once signed Pooh and gave him his first major push, was radio silent. No cosigns, no shoutouts, no reposts, just quiet. Which in rap culture means one thing: distance. Gucci's not stupid. He's been through this movie before, with artists who come home from prison and crash right back out. The industry was watching, waiting. Major labels love a redemption arc, but they hate a liability. Pooh could have dropped a single, a freestyle, even a trailer announcing his comeback. Instead, his first major headlines post-prison were about alleged snitching and reckless behavior. The irony? He had an opportunity to flip the script, to come home and own the narrative. Instead, he was writing his own federal sequel. Craziest part? The deeper he dived into the chaos, the louder the whispers got. Because when a rapper moves like he's untouchable right after doing time, people start asking why. Snitch whispers. Then came the bombshell, the snitch talk. It started small. A few Reddit threads, a couple of YouTubers saying, "Yo, this math ain't mathing." But then, Whack 100, hip-hop's self-proclaimed truth detonator, decided to open his mouth. On a podcast, he dropped a nuke. Ain't no way Pooh Shiesty cut that much time off a Fed bid without cooperation. Ain't no way. And with that, the internet exploded. You have to understand, in the rap game, being labeled a snitch is worse than death. It's social execution. Once that tag sticks, your credibility is gone. Fans stop believing the bars, the streets stop respecting your name, and your peers, they treat you like a ghost. Whack didn't show proof, just logic. He claimed that Pooh's early release didn't align with normal federal procedures. "You can't shave that much time unless you give something up," he said, staring dead into the camera like he just cracked the Zodiac code. It didn't help that Pooh's legal team was slow to respond. When they finally did, his lawyer Bradford Cohen posted a vague explanation. Mr. Williams was released early through the First Step Act for his participation in multiple rehabilitation programs and good conduct. Sounds clean, right? But the streets don't care about legal jargon. They want paperwork. They want receipts. And Pooh didn't post any. The speculation only got worse when people started digging into federal case records. Some noticed that a few co-defendants in Pooh's earlier cases had mysteriously received reduced sentences around the same time. Others pointed out that certain sealed documents were suddenly marked as restricted access in federal filings. It was enough to make conspiracy theorists foam at the mouth. Then came the memes. Pooh Shiesty photoshopped into witness protection, holding a microphone with a badge. Comments like, "Shiesty's new mixtape, testify in blood. The internet's cruelty knows no mercy." Through it all, Pooh said nothing. No denials, no explanations, just silence and selfies. Some fans took that as confidence. Real ones don't explain themselves, they said. Others weren't buying it. Silence is admission. Either way, the damage was done. His reputation, the street-certified Glock-toting image that built his career, was under fire.
He has potential to really still be one of the most relevant rappers in the game if he drops some fire right now. everyone's gonna love him. He needs to drop
Pooh
the shit in
Shiesty,
his bowl.
yeah,
He
Pooh-
needs to drop now. For the winner, we need to all be like, brrr.
And while he stayed quiet, Whack 100 doubled down. Show the paperwork or live with the label, he said on Clubhouse. At that moment, Pooh wasn't just fighting the feds anymore. He was fighting the streets, street doubts. By now, the word Shiesty wasn't just a name, it was an accusation. Memphis was divided. The same streets that once screamed his lyrics were whispering doubts behind his back. He got out too easy, they said. Feds don't play with gun charges like that. And while Pooh brushed it off, the tension in his own camp was growing. Big 30, his closest ally, started moving quieter online. He didn't post Pooh as much. He didn't publicly defend him either, and when fans pressed him about it, he dodged the questions. Silence once again became its own kind of noise.
But then you end up getting indicted after that. So I kind of think whatever paperwork they got in the proffer, all three of the guys kind of said that they went to the victims to buy certain things, to buy drugs and get this and get that. And they found it in the proffer.
We're talking about the shooting in the green Lambo when they went to go buy weed and then they ended up robbing the guys?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
The rap world is built on alliances, but in Memphis, those alliances shift like sand. Moneybag Yo, Big 30, Gucci Mane, they all had connections to Pooh at one point, but the snitch allegations made everyone uncomfortable. No one wanted to be the guy standing next to someone the streets had labeled federal friendly. Even Gucci Mane, who once dubbed Pooh his next up, quietly scrubbed old posts from his IG. That's not coincidence, that's PR damage control. Meanwhile, fans began piecing together every inconsistency. Why was Pooh released from a Florida facility but sent to a halfway house in Texas? Why were certain case files redacted just weeks before his release? Why did his lawyer refuse to release documentation when asked by media outlets? Every unanswered question became proof to someone. And then there was the cultural factor. Hip-hop, for all its evolution, still lives by an unspoken street code, loyalty over everything. And snitch is the nuclear word that detonates careers. Just ask Tekashi 6699. Once the streets think you talked, it doesn't matter what the paperwork says. Your word becomes worthless. Pooh could have ended it all with one move. Drop the documents. Clear his name. But instead, he posted a story saying, "The biggest don't owe nobody explanations." That line became a meme, a motto, and a warning shot all in one. But here's the truth. You don't get to rebuild your empire while ignoring your reputation. You can't play gangster and federal citizen at the same time. The streets remember everything, and as the whispers got louder, Pooh started to move differently. Less Memphis, more Dallas, less talking, more posting. The kind of silence that makes people wonder if you're planning something or hiding from it. Crash warning. Every comeback story has a breaking point, and Pooh Shiesty was sprinting toward his. The reckless driving, the halfway house violations, the snitch rumors. It was all snowballing. His name was trending every week, but never for music. The man who once dropped Back in Blood was now trending for being back in trouble.
What do you see? I would say what I'm seeing.
Okay.
In this situation, and it's not no excuse for it, I think we got a lot of youngsters that get in trouble and just don't know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? Because in their mind, they're probably thinking, well, they already know. But even if they already know, you still can't collaborate, you can't collaborate.
Insiders started whispering that federal agents were quietly monitoring his posts. You can't flash bottles and cash under federal supervision without consequences. And sure enough, screenshots began circulating of probation officers allegedly flagging his activity. Nothing official yet, but the word revocation started to buzz around his name. Meanwhile, the streets kept testing him. One Memphis blogger claimed Pooh's old crew wasn't rocking with him anymore. Another rumor said rival rappers were plotting to expose the real paperwork. Whether true or not, the chaos was catching up, and you could see it in him. The smile in his videos started to look forced. The captions turned darker. They want me gone, but I'm still here. If they violate me, I'll go back rich. Those aren't the words of a man who's free. They're the words of someone waiting for the cell door to click again. Here's the thing about fame and freedom. They don't mix well when ego's driving. Pooh had every chance to flip his narrative, to drop music, tell his side, and rebuild. Instead, he was doubling down on destruction. Even his fans started to split. Some begged him to chill, saying, "Bro, you already beat the odds, don't blow it." Others cheered him on, saying, "Real ones never change." The irony? Both sides were right, and that's exactly why he was doomed.
And
You just spell
in an undisclosed location. We in undisclosed. We all by ourselves, family, baby.
Let's go. I'm finna pop my sheet. Let's go. I'm finna pop it.
He out now, baby.
Bitch, stop playing with me.
He out now, baby. He coming. He coming. Hey, what they say?
Because the real tragedy of Pooh Shiesty isn't just the charges or the rumors, it's the refusal to evolve. He came out of prison physically free, but mentally still trapped. Every post, every reckless move, every silent flex, all part of a cycle he doesn't seem to know how to break. The clock's ticking, and everyone watching knows it. Final lesson. By now, Pooh Shiesty's story feels less like a comeback and more like a cautionary tale, the kind they'll whisper about in studios when the lights dim. Don't pull a Shiesty.
I thought we kind of cleared Pooh up because the thing was, one of the dudes didn't take his time till 2 weeks after all of them, but whatever Pooh and them went and did when they proffered, right, forced dude into taking like 8 years or 12 years, whatever it was, right? But the attorney stipulated that they all was in agreement to what they were doing and who was gonna get what time, right? And he was supposed to send some documents, he never sent them. I just kind of let it go.
He had everything, fame, money, the streets in his palm. And yet, after surviving the feds, he came home and moved like he learned nothing. He traded reflection for attention, traded silence for spectacle, traded freedom for likes. 4 years in a federal cage should have changed him. Instead, it just paused the movie. The moment he stepped out, he pressed play on the same script. The snitch rumors, still unproven, but forever attached. The reckless behavior, documented, time-stamped, and publicly posted. The industry support, evaporating. Gucci's moved on. Moneybags distant. Even Big 30, once his loudest ally, is now quiet. In the end, Shiesty's biggest enemy isn't the feds or the blogs, it's himself. The kid who came from Memphis trenches and became a millionaire never learned that surviving fame is harder than surviving the hood. And that's the tragedy, because this could have been a redemption arc, a story about growth, patience, and beating the system. Instead, it's a loop. The same mistakes, same bravado, same outcome waiting just around the corner. If the feds come knocking again, and let's be honest, they will, nobody will be shocked. They'll just sigh and say, we saw this coming.
He's still right here.
Slime mobile.
So here's the final lesson. You can't outrun consequences with charisma. You can't outshine your past with chains. And you definitely can't flex your way out of federal paperwork. Pooh Shiesty's homecoming was supposed to be a victory lap, but it's starting to look more like a countdown. Because when you don't learn your lesson, life just makes you repeat the class. And that's the twisted reality of Pooh Shiesty, the rapper who came home too soon, moved too wild, and might have just talked himself right back into a cell. What do you think, gang? Redemption story or federal rerun? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because the next chapter of this saga might drop faster than his next track.